Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel with Big Mike with BZ Cooks, coming back at you with another video. Well, today our dish is going to be Chinese barbecue pork. Real simple to make. It's probably got some ingredients that you're not used to commonly seeing, but I'm going to show you exactly what they look like so you can go to the grocery store and pick them up yourself. So with that being said, stay tuned and we'll get right to the cook. All right, I know what you're thinking. Big Mike, that's a lot of freaking ingredients. However, it isn't. It just looks like that because I've got them in their containers. And the reason why I have them here is because I want you to see what these things look like when you go to the grocery store to pick them up, all right? Now, I don't have the recipe in front of me, but right down here, I'm gonna put the amount of that ingredients that you'll need. And in the description, you'll also find ingredients there. But before we get started, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be notified when we post our next video, okay? Appreciate the support for the channel. Now, let's go over the ingredients, all right? So here I have pork shoulder, country style ribs, boneless. This was less than 20 bucks. I got this from Costco, all right? Here we have what's called Chinese 5 spice. They should have this in your grocery store. Nowadays, every grocery store has an aisle based on the ethnic foods that you might want to cook. Like they have a Spanish aisle or Mexican food aisle, or they'll have like an Asian food aisle where you'll find a lot of these ingredients there. So Chinese 5 spice, all right? You're gonna need that. We also have, this is rice cooking wine, all right? So rice cooking wine should be in that Asian aisle if you find it. If not, and even if you have like an Asian grocery market in your neighborhood, they are sure going to have this, all right? We also have hoisin sauce, all right? You're gonna need to put this. This is key ingredient in our marinade, all right? We've got soy sauce, very easy to find at your grocery store. We also have sesame oil. Sesame oil is definitely gonna be on that Asian aisle, okay? We have good old-fashioned ketchup, you're gonna need that. And we have some honey, all right? The rest of our ingredients are gonna be some sugar. We got some fresh grated ginger. And we've got some minced garlic. You're gonna mince up some garlic, all right? Now that you know all the ingredients, we're gonna go over the marinade right after we prep the pork. So right now we're gonna prep this pork and I'm gonna put it in the bag, and then I'll show you what we do to the pork before we put it in the bag, and then we're gonna make the marinade and get the cook started, okay? So we'll see. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is just basically grab a fork, guys, and you want to poke holes into your pork. What this is going to do is going to allow that marinade to get deep penetration into the meat to get the most flavor out of it. Okay, now once we're done with that, you're going to go ahead and put that into your Ziploc bag, and we're going to pour a marinade over this. This marinade is going to sit for a minimum of 30 minutes to a maximum of 4 hours. 4 hours is going to give you the maximum flavor that you need. All right, so let's make this marinade. Super easy to make. Gonna add our soy sauce, stir that in. Now I'm using a fork here. You can use whatever you want to use to incorporate your ingredients. You can use a fork, a spoon, a whisk. I didn't have my small whisk handy there. As you can see, I put my rice cooking wine in. So I just use a fork. When you're cooking at home, man, just use what you have. Now I did need to get a silicone spatula to get this hoisin sauce out of the bowl. That makes it real easy to get the edges, because if I used a fork or a spoon in this glass dish, it would have been a little bit harder to get it in there. Stir that in. It's kind of thick, so you want to make sure you stir it in really good so you don't have clumps of hoisin sauce in there. All right, so the next thing I did is I added my honey. Now, what you're going to do after you make this sauce is you're going to reserve 1 cup to base your meat with, and you can add the honey in at that time, or you can put it in ahead of time like I'm doing here. All right, so I've stirred that in really good. Now I'm just going to start adding all my other ingredients, folks. It's not hard to do, not a whole bunch to talk about, so I'm not going to bore you with the filler. I'm going to speed this video up as you see me incorporate the rest of these ingredients. All right, so now that we've got all of our marinade done, let's go ahead and pour that into the bag. Now remember, I'll reserve 1 cup of this to the side already. Okay, we're going to use that to make what we're going to baste the ribs with once we get them back into the oven. Get most of the air out of the bag if you can. Create a tight seal, and then you're just going to zip that shut. Remember, 30 minutes minimum. 4 hours maximum to get maximum flavor. If you're in a hurry, you can do it for 30 minutes up to 4 hours. And then we're pretty much done. Let's get it into the fridge. All right, guys, so it has been 4 hours and our meat is ready to be placed into the oven. Now, I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of preheating the oven to 300 degrees, not 350, not 400. I've tried this recipe at 350 and 350 was a little too hot. And the meat came out kind of dry, and that is not what we are aiming for, right? Right, so 300 is what you want to set your oven at, 300 degrees, okay? Now, I have a baking sheet underneath here that I cover with foil because this is very hard to clean off of the bottom of the pan. If it burns, it's going to be very hard to clean off. Okay, and what I've done is I've taken some water and poured it into the bottom of the pan so that you get that steam to come up and start to help assisting the meat cook. It's going to help the fat render down. Okay, now once we put it in our oven, before we do that, we want to take a piece of foil and cover it. So we're going to set our timer for 1 hour, but I'm going to cover this first. Okay. So we want to cover this up. Now, for the first 20 minutes, we're going to cook this with the foil on, okay? And then for the last 40 minutes of that first hour, we're going to take the foil off and finish it. Once it's done cooking for an hour, we're going to turn on the broiler, okay? That's where it's going to cook over the top. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that marinade that we set aside. So that 1 cup of marinade that we set to the side, we're going to add a little bit of ketchup to it. We're going to help thicken that up, kind of reduce it down a little bit, just for about 5 minutes, not too long. And then we're going to baste the top of it in the broiler, flip it over, baste it again. You'll see how everything comes out, all right? So let's go ahead and put our foil on. I'm going to stick this in the oven for the first hour. After 20 minutes, remember, you're going to take the foil off and cook it for the remaining 40 minutes, okay? So we'll see you back in about an hour. Okay, so I've got my induction cooker and the reserves of that marinade in here, okay? I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of ketchup, okay? So we're just going to add the ketchup to it here just to help it thicken up. And you're not going to cook this long, maybe about 5 minutes or so. You don't want to cook it too high because it does have a lot of sugar and it will start to burn. You don't want that. Okay, let's get your whisk. Start to stir that in. Get it incorporated really good. We're going to use this to just baste it, okay? I don't know if you would want to use this for a dipping sauce later or whatnot. You could if you wanted to, but it's going to have plenty of juices on it and it's going to taste really good. So we're just going to cook this for about another few minutes. And once we're done with that, then I'll show you as we baste our ribs. All right, guys, so the first 20 minutes are up and I wanted to take it out so that you can see what it looks like before we put it back in the oven for the remaining 40 minutes. So I'll take the foil off, just so you can see. Not much has happened, but it has started to render down just a little bit. So now we're gonna put it back in the oven and for the rest of the remaining 40 minutes. And then I'll show you what it looks like then. And then I'll show you what it looks like as we start to baste it or with the remaining marinade. Okay, all right, see you in a few minutes. All right, guys, so it has been 1 hour total. First 20 minutes with the foil on, and then the remainder 40 minutes with the foil off at 300 degrees. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Doesn't that look good? So what I'm gonna do now is I've turned my oven on, the broiler. Okay, so the broiler gets to about 500 degrees. Now remember, we're only gonna cook this for about 5 minutes on each side. But the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna baste it, because now we've got it cooked. Well, now what we wanna get is that caramelization. You wanna get a little bit crispy on the outside, but you wanna get that good color on it. So we're gonna take our remaining marinade and we're just gonna baste it, okay? So I'm just gonna basically just paint the ribs. Gonna paint these on here. Oh man, this is gonna be good. What's crazy is that I'm on a keto diet right now. And you would think that this would be okay, but it's got so much sugar in it that this is not a very keto-friendly dish for me to eat. You know, at some point you just say, screw it, bro, and you just eat it. I think the only thing I've done that's pretty much keto-friendly was those sous vide egg bites. That's about it. But I'm gonna do some more. I'm gonna get serious. I'm gonna do some more. So, all right. So as you can see, I've got it nice and painted here. All right. I'm gonna cook these on the broiler. Okay. Stay tuned. I'm gonna show you exactly what it looks like after just 5 minutes. Then we're gonna flip it over, do it again, see how it looks. Okay. All right. Stay tuned. Oh man, look at that. That is the thing of beauty, man. So after 5 minutes, we got some good caramelization. These are gonna be, all right. So what we're going to do here, got our marinade again. Let's baste this side, okay? Now what I've also done is I went on ahead and put some rice in the rice cooker, because you can cut this up and make like a barbecue pork bowl, you know, put some veggies in it and whatnot. And you can do it like that. You can eat this with some other vegetables. You can make some long beans, just to keep it all Asian. Make some long beans. Those are green beans, they're just long. You can make those. Pretty much anything you want, man. This is an all-around barbecue pork, but it's primarily Asian spices. So why not pair it with some Asian sides? Hey, I may even get a chance to taste a little bit of these. Just one for you guys, all right? For science. That's what this is for, all right? I'm gonna have a piece of this barbecue pork for science. Science only, all right? See you in a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Chinese barbecue pork. Doesn't that look delicious? My God. Oh my goodness. I gotta taste it for science, remember? This is all for science, so bear with me, bear with me. This is so good. I'm gonna prove to you how good it is, because I'm gonna eat some. Here we go. Stop talking. Hey man, I'm trying to tell you. Dang, bro. All right, I'm gonna be good on my diet. I'm not gonna eat another one. But I'm sure that my family is gonna tear this up. All right. So hey, in the comments below, let me know what you would pair this with. If you make this, you will not regret it. So the recipe will be in the description. Just follow the instructions as I've done in this video, and you should have major success with it. If you put it in the broiler and it does not get the caramelization that you want, Just keep it in there for maybe another 5 minutes or less. You probably don't want to do it more than 5 minutes, but keep an eye on it because it depends on where you have your rack set in the oven. Pro tip, okay? Depending on where you have your rack in the oven, in your broiler, and where that meat is sectioned or where it's sitting underneath that fire, that's how it's going to cook under there, okay? But remember, you cook it for 300 degrees for an hour. It's already cooked. Pretty much putting it in the broiler is just going to caramelize the top once you put your marinade on the top, okay? So, with that being said, hey, if you are new to this channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be notified when we make our next video. So with that being said, hey guys, we appreciate you for coming to the channel and supporting us, watching these videos. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you when we make our next video, okay? Stay tuned. Peace.